It's all about how you finish. Okay. Um, remember the story of the tortoise and the hare. Just remember, as we do recognition, it's so critical you applaud people. We're going to be going on the back end on the road to Hall of Fame. How do you get there? And if you were taking any notes, note number one, exhaust yourself in applauding the winners. If you get if you feel bad, if you feel distrustful, if you feel negative, jealous about the winners, here's a note: you will never win, ever. Because here's the truth: when you have success, and we're celebrating these people, just remember this: when success knocks on your neighbor's door, don't be jealous or spiteful. Clap as loud, as hard as you can, because that means success is on your street, right? Because this is simply going to be you soon. So maybe that's a tweak. Are you applauding these people? And if you're not, that's something to change. And so applaud all those people who are out there slaying it, and because they're out there working and serving families. So we're going to go ahead and jump in, guys. We're at 3:04, and I know we're at a dial day. We started this new series, The Road to Hall of Fame, and we're going to start off this way. And this, as we share this, yes, I'm the one hosting it. Yes, I'm the one we're going to be discussing, but I want to be very clear right now. Everything we're going to discuss has everything to do with you and very, very little to do about me. Okay. I love Matt G's Goodrich's huddle a couple of weeks ago, because he was just so real. It was like watching one of those reality TV shows. We were hooked by those because he was just so real. So I'm going to be real, just be me, and just share with you the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm going to do the same thing I do in the home. I'm simply going to ask you, do I have your permission to be 100% honest, even if it's to the level of being brutally honest? I hope you'll nod your head and say yes, because I'm going to do it anyway. But that's what we're going to do today. So I'm going to go over just some basics. We're going to talk about a couple of things. Obviously, we're going to get the how-tos. Everyone's looking for that. But we're also going to hit the how to do the how-tos, which I believe is the most important part of the road to Hall of Fame. I do warn you, I do get a little excited. So if I do, it's not, it's just the way I roll. First thing about this whole process, I want you to expect right now, because when we come into these kind of trainings, we immediately look to tell me what to do, right? How did you do it, right? And if we're being real, I hope you can see my screen. For those looking for the how to do it, it's right here. This is the road to Hall of Fame. Take a picture, screenshot, whatever you want to do. It's pretty simple. You've seen it said multiple ways. It's simply a matter of doing it. But I believe the first question before you can say how to do it is, how do you think? My question to you is, what operating system are you running? First things first, it doesn't matter how cool the program is. If you buy a Windows program, you don't have to be a computer expert to know this answer. If you buy a Windows program, but you're going to try to put it on a Macintosh, is that going to work? Right? It could be the best program there is, solve all your problems, grow your hair back, bring your wife back, whatever, right? But if you put it on the wrong OS operating system, it will not work. So first thing I want to do, if I had to subtitle this little series, I would call it The Road to Hall of Fame, Educating Your Expectations, okay? Because if you educate your expectations in this process, you will not get hurt, okay? First thing you need to educate, if you're taking notes, is you need to ask better questions. So in life, if you want better answers, you need to ask better questions. So as you're looking at all these things, ask questions of yourself. When you're getting all the things that I'm going to share with you today, I want you to be aware, first things first, that there's a story behind the story. What I want you to understand is I'm going to share some things with you, and you're going to say, and two parts of you are going to come out. There's going to be two parts of you, and some of you are oblivious that there are two parts of you. There's a conspiracy going on in the world. Some of you don't know it, but there is. It's so good that it's hiding in plain sight. The conspiracy is that there's a silent saboteur, someone who is sabotaging you. And he's so good that you don't even know, or she's so good you don't even know it, because it's you. Look in the mirror. It's you that's doing it, okay? Now, what does that mean? Well, I'll be sharing some things about my journey, and here's what's going to happen. Part of you is going to say, oh, that's a reason. And the other part of you is going to say, oh, that's an excuse for why you can't do it, right? So the first thing I want you to tell yourself is mindset is, Sorry, good job. Someone just sent me a text. So the first thing I wanted to share with yourself is you are not uniquely defective. Some of you, as you are listening to things, your mind automatically will tell you things, giving you reasons for why you are different, unique. You can't do it. Oh, he's from Africa. Oh, he's black. Oh, he looks good. I know I do. But right, they'll give you different reasons for why you can't do it. But it's not true, right? It's just, but the first part to understanding what OS you're running is knowing there's an OS. Hint, hint. In order to get out of the matrix, you need to first know that there is a matrix, right? So some of you are saying, oh yeah, Mac, is that mind mumbo jumbo? I'm telling you, that's why you're still in the matrix. You need to get, this is the real deal. There is a reason you are not succeeding. It's because you are holding you back. The question you need to ask yourself is, you need to dig deep and say, what is it my silent saboteur is telling me that's holding me back? And once you recognize it, it is game over. Okay. I'm giving you, just again, being real with you, that you need to work harder on yourself than you do your business. As I go through what things I went through, some of what I went through, I had already paid the price somewhere else, right? And everyone has to pay the price. If you wait to pay the price, you'll pay the greater price, right? So I went through that process, and I'm just sharing with you as I'm going through this. Some of you have already paid it. And if you haven't paid it, I want you to expect to pay it. Okay. Second thing, I want you to note that for me, the way I grew up, so I grew up in Africa, and there was a certain mentality I came with. And my mentality was, I want you to, jot this down. No one's coming to save you. No one. I remember growing up in times when I remember I was hungry, right? I remember my dad left to America when I was very young, and he came back and he told me this story. He said that he took us to a restaurant. I'd never been to a restaurant ever, right? And we went to this restaurant. I was like, whoa, it was awesome, right? Food, people were bringing it to me. And actually his girlfriend told me the story. When the food came, we literally, me and my brothers, we were like lapping it up so fast. She said she started to cry. And for us, we were like, what? Is something wrong with the food? we were just grateful we're eating food, right? We were just grateful. So, I grew up in these circumstances where, things have been tough. And I knew early on, no one is coming to save me. So in America, I want you to understand this, and I'm saying this in all love. Again, I asked for permission to be honest. The road to Hall of Fame, you have to understand and accept the fact that no one is coming to save you. Meaning you may be starting from behind because you grew up in America. In America, it's a wonderful country. I'm so grateful I'm here. But we have so many situations where people save us. So much so that we forgot what it takes to be masters. When it came to walking, did someone make you walk? No, you had to go through the process, right? When it came to talking, did someone make you talk? No, you had to go through the process. But as we grew up, we lost mastery. And because of the conveniences that we love and appreciate, but because of that, we start from back. Now, once you accept that, listen, there's no one coming to save me, it's on me. All of a sudden, it engages. All of a sudden, you get, so some of you, you're going to FFL, and the reason you may not be getting where you want to go is because you haven't yet transformed. So forgive me of the symbolism I'm going to use, the symmetries or the metaphors. I have 10 kids, so I use a lot of Power Rangers. So in Power Rangers, hey, quick story, and you'll understand why. So they're fighting these bad guys, fighting them, and they're getting beat up. And all of a sudden, what do they say? It's morphin' time, right? So they morph. All of a sudden, they get these powers, and they can do things they couldn't do before. The reason that you may be struggling is because the mentality, the real you has not come out yet. You haven't transformed yet. So the same punch doesn't have the same pack. The same dial doesn't have the same feel, right? But once you transform, the same thing you used to do, it's a completely different result. So again, if you're taking notes, you're starting from behind. No one's coming to save you. Because you've forgotten what mastery may feel like and look like in that little tweak, you have to force mastery upon yourself. You have to force the issue. And how do you do that? Dave Anderson said it. Do things that are uncomfortable on purpose. When you get yourself to a level of discomfort, it all of a sudden opens up a new you never knew existed. So some people, you take cold showers. You get up in the morning. There's people that were talking about the 4 a.m. club. You get up in the morning earlier. You're uncomfortable, right? You go walk. You do things on purpose that are discomforting so that you can engage the real you. So again, those things that those successful people do, guys, it's on purpose. Very rarely do people wake up and they're just Hall of Famers. They either had something happen that triggered them, right? Or they triggered themselves. I'm going to suggest trigger yourself if you're not there yet. So again, I'm going to summarize a couple of things. If you don't hear anything I say today, you can summarize it in these three things. If you're not having the success you want, it's because you're not doing it right. And we're going to share with you what this is. What I'm looking at right here is what it takes in order to be a Hall of Famer, right? So look at it, inspect what you expect. Are you doing it right? Second, if you say you're doing it right and you're still not having the success, it's only because of one thing. You're not doing it enough. Period. That means you need to do more of it. What does that mean? Oh, bear with me here. All right, let me share this. That means you need to do more of it. You're not doing it enough, right? No one's coming to save you. You started too far from the finish line, so you don't know what your ratio is. For Mac, it may take 25 appointments, but for you, maybe in order to re-engage yourself, it may take you 35 appointments, 40 appointments. So if you want to succeed, you need to double your rate of failure, right? So if you're not doing it right, you're not doing it enough, and if you say, Mac, I'm doing it right, I'm doing it enough, it's the only reason it could be is because you need to engage. It's because of personal development. You need to get yourself activated, transformed. And once you transform, those same dials, those same appointments, those same punches, the same books you used to read, they become something completely different. Okay, so those are the two things. Let's jump into it. So I'll say this. Let me go ahead and stop sharing my screen. I'll just simply share my story real quick. Bear with me here. All right, cool. All right, guys, so everyone can see me. So here's my story. So I got an FFL. Prior to FFL, I was in oil and gas. Prior to that, I had done some networking marketing. That was what I did. I worked with a legal services company, and I did that for almost 10 years, always wishing there was that one more thing, maybe one more year it'll happen, one more. And we sacrificed because I saw the vision. And here's what I knew, that sacrifice was something that you had to do no matter what it was. There's no way you can get anywhere without sacrifice, but it never came. We did okay, but we never got anywhere, right? And after that, I was disappointed by that company, and I decided, you know what? I swear, and some of you, you're like me, you've sworn off network marketing, right? Or your wife made you swear off it. And I was just so disappointed after looking back that I gave 10 years of my life promising grandmas that if you invest $249 or $300, you're going to get this, because I really believe. And I was so disappointed in myself, of all those people that I felt I had just misled, that I was like, I am never, ever, ever doing that again. And so I went into the best thing I knew. And luckily I got in the oil and gas field and I did well. First time in my life on a job, I'd ever made more than 100,000 a year. And we worked hard. We were working 12, 13, 14, 15, sometimes 20 hours a day. But guys, I was grateful. I mean, I know people who work harder than me that didn't make that kind of money. And I did that working that many hours. And you guys say, no, he didn't work there. Yeah, I really did. My schedule was, I worked 20 hours a day. So we would go out in the field, hammer, do all we do, come back. I would work some more so I can get extra hours. Dude, I was so grateful that they were paying me that much money. And it was adult minimum wage, because you were getting paid big money from overtime. But I was so grateful that I kept working harder, because I thought the accounting department would realize what they're paying and stop paying, right? I was like, let me get as much of it as I can before it goes away. And I did that for a while. My wife and I, we did over, $250,000. We were doing okay. And suddenly life hit and I got diagnosed with a tumor. And I realized, wow, again, like we tell people, life can change like that. I had insurance, but I was a novice. I didn't have any living benefits. And I lost everything. We lost it all. I went from being on top, out of debt completely, to, 5 surgeries. It was incurable. So my last surgery, they were actually taking me to get my leg chopped off. I was grateful because I would be able to have a Halloween costume as a pirate, right? And I was making a joke of it because it's just life, right? And luckily they found something where they did some radiation, and but it really reminded me why I wanted a business. But I just didn't know if that was something. And I went from low to low. I lost all my confidence, and that's where FFL came in. Fast forward, we were in North Dakota. We decided, you know what, I'm done with the oil and gas. Life is too short. I could have died, and I haven't done anything. All I've done is work, work, work. And I'm telling you this story on purpose to tell you the background. And then I'm going to tell you why the how-tos worked for me, right? Everyone has their story. I'm hoping that you're going to see what the triggers that happen. And your trigger may be different, right? Part of the trigger or the pieces of the puzzle we know was going to conference. I don't know what your piece is, but you have to go through something that triggers you. And sometimes you won't know what the trigger is until you go. So anyway, so we decided to come to Arizona, and that's when Joe Miller connected with me. And Joe had been trying to recruit me for years, right? I said, no, Joe, ain't gonna happen, right? I'm not going that direction again. And gave me an opportunity. I started off actually as a recruiter, and I started just doing it. And shortly I said, you know what? Why not try this out? And I tried my craft in it, and then the rest is history. And so we're going to go into why did I think I could succeed? Guys, when I came into FFL, my confidence was so low. It wasn't because I hadn't done anything in the past. I mean, I was the top recruiter. I was on stage, paraded by this other company. I done well. It's kind of on paper. I mean, we did 6 figures, right? But we were broke like a joke, right? When you have 10 kids, it takes a lot to feed that family, right? We were living on government assistance, right? Parading in a suit that, we're doing it, right? And I just got tired of the lies, right? I didn't want to live that life again. That's the biggest thing that was distasteful about that. Having to, I don't know. I just felt I didn't want to do that anymore. And so I was so low in my confidence that I could actually lead anyone again because I hadn't made any real money. It was always in the future. Now, fast forward FFL, why did I think I could do it? Here's what I knew. I saw stories of people that were normal people just working, period. So here's what I knew. I said, okay, I was willing to bet on something I knew worked, which is not that I was that good, but I was that bad. So I said, okay, how many leads do you got to dial? 300 to $600 or $800. I said, okay, I'm going to prove to you that FFL doesn't work. So if you're in the point like me where your confidence is so low that you had no idea that whether you could do anything, here's what I did. I said, you know what? I'm going to dial all these leads. And when they all tell me no, I'm going to come back to you and say, I told you so. I did it with a good attitude. I dialed the leads and And I was so low that I didn't even overcome any objections. If they say no, I said, if they said boo, I said, right? They said, don't even finish it. I get it. Click, let me hang up for you, right? That's how low I was. So I started off and I did 15. I helped protect 15 families my first month. Now I went to my first appointment. Here's what it looked like. I called Joe up and, I hadn't even gone through an app. So don't do that, right? Go through the app at least. And I went there, I did the financial inventory, called Joe up, and he told me, hey, give him these options. I gave the guy the options. I hadn't even been through an Americal app. I just went through, act like I knew what I was doing. And the guy said, I'll choose the middle one. We went through, and next thing I know, I predicted one family. I said to myself, I called Joe up. I said, hey, is that it? Like, there got to be something else. He goes, no, that's it, man. I was like, really? He goes, yeah. I said, man, it's game over, man. I'm going, it was crap. I was like, no, that cannot be it. It's not that simple. Anyway, so we went through and I just started helping people. And for the first few months, the second month I did 20, help protect 23 families. And just calling leads. And here's the deal. I was dialing for appointments. Now, after I knew it worked, after I saw a deposit in my bank account, I knew it worked. I was dialing for appointments. And so as we're looking at the road to Hall of Fame, first things first, you need to give yourself enough at-bats. You need to double your rate of failure. Because here's what I knew. I may suck, and I realized I suck bad, not only because of my skill set, but my attitude. My confidence was low. I knew I sucked bad. So I said, you know what? I probably have to double my efforts so that I could even get to the level of anyone that's normal. So I just sucked. And I said, you know what? How do I, what if I was to suck faster? That's an idea. So I said, what if I just dial more leads and voila, right? And that's exactly what I did. I knew that if I can do that, then the rest is history. Here's my mindset behind that. Again, I'm going through experiences. I believe we all have experiences that we go through that prepare us for FFL and prepare us for life. The challenge is we don't connect the dots, or we skip the lessons that those experiences were supposed to teach us so that when the trial comes, we are unprepared, right? And when you're unprepared for a test, guess what happened? You get a 0, right? You guys have been there before. You try to cram, good luck with that. So as I'm going through and I'm giving you these triggers, I want you to think, okay, what experiences have I had that should have prepared me for FFL, but I skipped? I didn't apply mastery. And I'm gonna give you this. Don't tell me, no, my life has been buttered. No, it's just you do not remember, or you fail to remember, or you chose not to activate. Life is about mastery. Whoever masters the basics, and again, I'm not talking about FFL, I'm talking about life. When you win the game of life, you win FFL. And life is simply a reflection of where you are at FFL. It's a mental game. Anyway, so we went, I lost my train of thought there. Anyway, so I wanted to double my rate of failure because here's what happened. When I got the surgeries, I remember my first surgery, it hurt so bad. I remember I was in the hospital room once, and my wife will tell you the truth. I don't cry very often. I don't know why. It's just the way it is what it is. But I remember I was in a hospital room and I couldn't move. My leg, I lost everything. I had no house, had no car. My kids. I was a father of 8 kids. I didn't even prepare with life insurance, guys. Like everything I worked for. Worked for 10 years and it went away like that. I'm sitting there in the hospital room, just broken, wondering like, if I tried this hard and it didn't work, what else am I going to do, right? So it sucked. I knew that recovery would suck, and it was painful. So I'm in the room, and there's a little deal where you can kind of hit the little button to get more pain, and it was so bad that I remember that I just want to leave my body. To be honest with you, right? And anyway, so I went through that, and then recovery. It's about first 3 months sucked badly. You can't move, and then I had another surgery. I had a surgery in December. Then I had another one in February, front of my leg, back of my leg, and then recovery sucked. And so I got used to the surgeries, and I just kind of accepted it. That listen, when you want to get better, you're gonna suck first. Like it's gonna suck. I was an athlete. When my feet got banged by a player, you had to put ice in it, right? You just sucked, and that first 2 minutes in the cold, it is excruciating. Your veins are freezing. You're like, ugh. I just realized, wow, life is about when you want to heal something broken, it will suck at first. I learned that early in my life. And some of you haven't. Some of you are thinking it just comes. But I'm so grateful for my experiences because that taught me that before things get better, you got to get better. And before that gets better, you got to get broken down sometimes before you get lifted up, right? So I'm telling you that when I saw double your rate of failure for success, it was like, the angels were screaming. That's the key to FFL. I went through, started doubling. People are like, man, you're killing. I'm like, what? I suck. Like, ain't no killing about it. The reason I work so hard is because I suck, right? So if you knew, I always tell people, if you knew you had to double your work to make the same effort, but you would still do it, would you care? I always think of it with the story of a baby. When you learn to walk, Does anyone ever ask you today, hey, so-and-so, how long did it take you to walk? Like in an interview, hey, did it take you a week, 2 weeks, a month? Were you 3 years? No one cares as long as you got there. So we double our rate. I think I did 24 the third month, but I couldn't crack that code of past 25, past 30. So here's what I'll tell you. As you go through FFL, truly, I would say you can do making dials. Just making that. And again, I'm going to venture to say, being real with you, you don't really have to overcome any objections. Just dial more. Like someone said no, I'm like, big deal. Just dial more. I'm looking for someone who was interested. That's it. Now, in order to get to, this is where I kind of got my jump. In order to get to about 25 and more, you're going to have to learn more skills of how to overcome objections. Guys, again, you're still going to be just calling people. That's it. You just got to make more dials. I'm talking, when I say dials, each time the phone hits the green button, that's a dial. So I'm talking between 300 to 800. If you're looking at a dial day like today, it'll take you maybe 8 hours, maybe 6 to 8 hours. If you're starting typically with internet leads, that's just the truth. And for those of you like me, I was an analytical guy. I'm all about numbers and ROI. I'm about efficacy. My numbers, I gauged it. Before this, again, I was looking at different businesses. I had things ping. I'll tell you what my numbers are. About 25 to 30% answer rate is what I found on internet leads, right? So if you dial 100, educating your expectations, you're going to get 25 to 30 that answer. That's it. That's generally speaking, right? So you'll have 25 at-bats. of the 25 to 30, about half, you shouldn't even book half. Let's say be conservative, 10, right? Of the 12 and a half. I mean, you get one midget. No, hey, I love midgets too. Anyway, or small people. But of that half, let's say you sit 10, you'll sell half of what you sit on. So if you understand early on that it's a 25 to 35% answer rate and you want to increase your numbers, what do you got to do? Dial more. So, but if you're going in the home, you do about $300 to, I don't know, $800, depending on your skill set. Now, if you're doing mortgage leads, the answer rate is a little bit better. It's about 60%, 70% answer rate. So you spend less time on the phones, but I'm going to tell you that's it. See, some of you are saying, oh yeah, there it is, Mac. I knew it. He has a special lead. No, that's not the secret sauce. That's even harder on a new person. So for new people, we are being merciful on you by saying start with internet leads, because I thought that was the secret sauce. I got killed. I mean, Mike Tyson said, everyone has a plan until you get in the ring, get punched in the mouth. I got punched in the mouth thinking mortgage leads were it. I'm like, nope, I'm going back to internet leads. Went to internet leads, and here's the kicker. I went to a conference and in February, and I'll be honest with you guys, I'm being very, very, helping 20 families a month, protected, 20, and go to February. I'm so frustrated because I can't break my duck. I can't get over 25. And for me, if I can't scale it, I'm working hard. I'm wondering, why am I doing all this if I can't even scale it? So I go to this conference in Arizona, and again, I'm telling you, when you pay the price, something will happen. I was ready for the information. Some of you, when you get to conference, some of you, when you're on this call, this Zoom, you pay the price in the field this week that prepares you to hear what I'm saying. And it may have nothing to do with what I'm saying. It just landed in the right way. I heard this in-home presentation from two guys, Julius Gilger and Clay Sweet. Man, it was like angels were singing. That is exactly what I needed to hear. I was messing it up. I thought I was saying it, but I wasn't. So I recorded it, because even the tones, they say it. Because sometimes we say, oh, no, I was saying that, Mac. No, you weren't. What you thought you were saying, that was not what was delivered. So I recorded it. When they paused, guess who paused? I did. I paused. When they inflected their voice up, guess who? I did that too. And that month in February, I protected from 25 families. I went to 42 families. And the next month, I went to 58 families. The next month, I went to 58 families. What changed, right? The leads changed, right? It was suddenly I changed. I was ready for that tweak. I went back to the mortgage. I mean, it was just, and it was any kind of lead. And let me kind of address that. So as a new person, I don't know where you are. You can't be prejudiced on leads. Just accept the opportunity. I don't care where you are. You can do it where you are right now. Like if you are in Montana, the middle of nowhere, you can do it in Montana. So understand this. Perfection comes from separation and subtraction, not addition. Think about it. A kiln, when people are doing pottery, they mold the pot, they put it in there, and the heat, what's the heat supposed to do? It's supposed to remove the impurities. So I'm going to tell you this, everything in your skill set that you have right now, the person that you are, you have what it takes to fulfill whatever you want to fulfill at FFL. It's just that you're overcomplicating it. So the reasons you're not succeeding is not because you need more, it's you need to take away more. I hope that hits home to some people. You got what it takes right now. Just remove the fluff and you'll be good, the noise, and you'll be good. Anyway, we went through, and then, hey, I'm going to be real with you. I got comfortable at, I got so comfortable that I was like, I kind of destroyed the money game. The monkey on my back was gone. I was like, wow, I'm good. I was able to buy what I wanted when I wanted it. It was sweet, because my why, I had pretty much grown towards my why. My why was money, because I needed money at the time. And I wasn't really in team building. I didn't think about it. I didn't care. But as I saw people hurting, I realized, wow, it's selfish of me to not share the opportunity. So I literally stayed stagnant. And in FFL, you'll get stagnant. And you know why? Is because your why isn't big enough, right? And I got stagnant, meaning I wouldn't work as hard as I used to work to get to where I got. And I would just, go out and do a couple appointments. And I'll be real, maybe I was rolling maybe 10 appointments a week. And I just shake the tree. I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm just going to just coast. And I'm grateful to Joe Miller for kind of pushing me a little bit. And I don't know if you're still on, Joe, but if you are, I know this is kind of unorthodox. I'm wondering if you can kind of share. Is he still on? I think he's off. It's okay if you're on. That's cool. But he kind of pushed me to get to Hall of Fame, because from May to June to August, I was sick for 2 months. I don't know what it was. I had a cold. I couldn't do nothing. And because of the policies I'd written, and like clockwork. And I sat, I think it was like October, I was at 1,000. And I don't really care for accolades. I'd already been through that, done that with the network marketing company. I don't care what you call me. You can call me a double backflip galactic. Who cares what the name is? Just pay me, right? And I was getting paid, so I didn't care what you call me. I didn't care about some kind of oh, there he is. Okay. There we go. Let me all right, are you on, Joe? Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, can you hear me?
All right, cool. Yeah, I'm glad you're on. Let me just share this, and I'll have you just ask this question. I didn't care about all that. All I cared about was getting paid, and I was getting paid. Now, Joe saw something that needed to happen, so I wanted to address why Hall of Fame. And Joe, I said, why do I even hit Hall of Fame? What's the big deal? Just some kind of plaque, blah, blah, blah. Joe, kind of, if you don't mind just taking 2 minutes and sharing what you told me, why is it a critical goal for you to hit Hall of Fame?
I'm glad you asked me that because I tell you so many things. I don't remember exactly what I told you, but I can tell you what I think I told you, unless you want to remind me. But I think it had something to do with, it wasn't about you at that point, because I knew the money was good. You were happy. You were very happy that you were providing for your family. And I believe I told you that it wasn't about you at that point. It was about the team. I was like, yep. We got to point to you and you got to blaze the trail. Your team's going to do half of what you do. 100%. And if you hit Hall of Fame, you can turn back and reach back to your organization and say, if I can do it, you can do it. And that was it. It really wasn't about the money. You were making good money and you were very happy, not content, but you were happy, meaning like the bills were paid, the family was happy. But it really, at that point, it wasn't about you. It was about what you could do to serve others. And I think that, and maybe I tried a bunch of different things and that's just what resonated, but I think that's what it was. You can remind me more.
No, thank you. That's exactly what it was. Here, and if you're taking notes, make hitting Hall of Fame not about you. You guys have seen the stories of mothers who their child is stuck underneath the car and they're able to lift more than they ever could. I mean, talking grandmas. This is truly documented. How did they get that strength? So when you're working for yourself, it doesn't work. So there's an old African proverb: if you want to go fast, go alone. But if you want to go far, go together, right? Make it more than just about you. And all of a sudden, that may be what triggers you and you'll be able to do it. So for me, we were out and I had to do a lot of things to kind of get myself back to get going. And I think we were at the 1st of November and all I knew is I just got to run a lot of appointments. So I started doing the same thing I did when I got started. And here's the lucky thing. I knew my ratios. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it, guys. The reason I doubled my rate of failure so much was because I need to know my ratios. If you can't find out what your ratio is, good luck. It's hope. You're hoping you're going to hit it. Hope is not a plan. Get your ratio. That's why we say you run your first 100 appointments. That's when the scoreboard starts, because then you know what a ratio is. Then you know how far back you are. Then you know how many appointments it takes for you to get X and Y. Now you can get better. But some of us, we quit or we go so slow that we don't do it. Some of us never let ourselves be bad enough, long enough to get good. So I ramped it up. I knew my ratios. And of course, we know the rest is history. So guys, that's the short answer is to hit Hall of Fame, you need to educate your expectations. No one is you need to make it bigger than you. No one wants to follow anyone who is stricken with a disease called unbelief. No one will follow you. Ain't nobody got time for that, right? Come on, right? No one's gonna follow you. So before you look at me, I'm just a normal person. We all say that, but we really are. Before you look at me, Joe, Steven, all these guys and think, oh, Ali, he's so, he's like, oh, like, can I wash your shoes? Listen, We're all normal people. You need to put on confidence every morning, put on desire, success, like you put your pants on, one foot at a time, like literally put it on. Doesn't matter how you feel. Nope. You just put your pants on. Now, some of you, hey, if you were putting on confidence like you put your pants on, some of you would be naked outside. I'm just being real, right? Some of you have no clothes on. All I'm saying is come prepared. You got to know that there is an inner you that's messing you up. Once you can identify the inner you, man, you're going to just knock it out the park, because you'll know he has been stealing your mail and he's been stealing all the things that you need in order for you to get to where you need to get to. So work harder on yourself than you do on this business. And all the how-tos we talk about, they're going to fall in line. Bam, bam, and bam. And you're going to wonder, man, what had happened? I'll just tell this last story. I don't know if any of you have seen the movie Peter Pan, the first one with the guy that I forgot his name. So Peter Pan, he's this older guy. If you haven't seen the movie or read the book, he used to believe. He had this desire. His dream machine was on, right? And over time, he became realistic. He only believed in what he could see, what was possible. And anyway, he gets taken to this land and he sees these make-believe things like there's no way, right? And it's time for them to eat. And then he sees these bowls and there's nothing in the bowls. These people are just doing this and they're acting as if they're eating food. And he can't eat. The reason he can't eat is because he's choosing not to believe. And time goes on. Yeah, thank you, Hook. That's it. Time goes on. And when he starts desiring to believe, he sees this table. And this is, again, another scene. And it is a banquet of food. He's like, whoa. So recognize, guys, part of the reason that we don't hit all, we should have literally hundreds of Hall of Famers. You're not uniquely defective. It's not me. It's literally all we're doing is dialing. That's it. That's it. How hard is that? And again, I'm coming from a business where I had to go and do what we call exposures. I had to go out and talk to strangers in order to get my prospects. Remember how Mr. Wonderful talked about the cost of acquisition, getting clients? I would get a suit on, go to a gas station. Hey, you look sharp. I would get, what I did? Again, it was the same process. I got 10 exposures a day. See someone at Starbucks. Hey, you look sharp. You keep your, And here's what I knew. After I did I sucked faster. I found out that you get 10 contacts. Of the 10, 2 will go to the next step. So you get 2 qualified people a day, right? In a week, that's 10 qualified. Of the 10, you would get 5 that go to the next step. And then you get about 2 to 3 recruits in a month. Guys, that was the formula, because I was willing to do it. So again, 2 things. Your dream machine is broken if you're not pushing. You need to force mastery upon yourself if you're not growing. If you're not seeing this, and if you're not excited right now that I just gave you the blueprint for what it takes to hit FFL, I'm being real, your wood is wet. You are being deceived. You got to get going. You got to wake up. The matrix, you're in the matrix. Get out. Ask for help, because there is no reason if I gave you the key to your dreams, you would be sitting there. Wow, that's awesome. Mm-hmm. Man, you would be on your chair. Come on, let's be real. Right? So if you're being reserved, hint, hint, your dream machine is broken. Get it, dig deep, and let's knock this out. Guys, I think that's about my time. I hope you guys take this to heart. Again, the how-tos are there, but work harder on yourself than you do with your business. Get a workout partner to help you through the process. Joe, thank you for sharing. Making Hall of Fame bigger than you, and your why will never run out. You will never ever lose desire. So take charge. See you guys soon. Let's go. Take care, guys.